first and critical step in successful cereal crop production. It sets the foundation for good germination, for strong root development, and high yield. Ẹ jẹ́ ká nóòtì àwọn keywords mẹ́ta tí mo sọ ńbẹ̀ yẹn. Keyword alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ni good germination. Keyword ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni strong root development. Ìkẹta òun ni high yield. Báwo làwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ni wọ́n ṣe ní nǹkan ṣe pẹ̀lú ara wọn? Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ tá a sọ òun ni good germination. Ẹ wo ilẹ̀ tá a wà yìí lórí bí ta dó sí ṣẹ́gun pé wọ́n lẹ ká sọ pé wọ́n lẹ táìsì sí àbí káwá ni mo fẹ́ gbin àgbàdo, mo wá mú àgbàdo yẹn wá, mo wá jùlẹ̀ lẹ́mí bíbi ìṣèlú ṣàgbàdo yẹn máa wò ẹ̀yìn àtàgbàdo yẹn àjọ máa rẹ́rìn síra wa ni. Tó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé mistakenly bóyá ìmísí omi fẹ́ sí tó fẹ́ ṣe bí ẹni fẹ́ sọ, kí ni ó padà ṣẹlẹ̀ sí? Yóò padà kí ni ó dé tí ó fi kú? Bóyá mo ìdáhùn wa ò lè wá papọ̀, mo fẹ́ ọwọ́ lókè ní kí ló dé tó ṣe máa kú bẹ́ẹ̀ tá bá fílẹ̀ sí bí even though pé atẹ́gùn omi fẹ́ sí oko fẹ́ sọ kí ni ìdí tó ṣe máa kú padà? Kò rí ẹ̀kàn fi ìdí múlẹ̀. Very good. Ìyẹn ló bọ́ sí point ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì tí mo sọ pé strong root development. Now fún kóró orúgbìn wa má bínú àánú gé pépèpé kí àkókò wa má bàa lọ tẹ́nìkan bá ti méjì point yẹn àtúnmú wọn. Kóró orúgbìn wa tí a fẹ́ fi sílẹ̀ yẹn ó gbọ́dọ̀ yíra padà, that is kó germinate, kó lè ráyè fi èkàn mọ́lẹ̀. Èkàn tá à ń sọ yẹn ní root formation. Now nígbà tí ó bá fi èkàn mọ́lẹ̀, èkàn yẹn bó ṣe ń wọ inú ìyẹ̀pẹ̀ lọ, ó ń rí àwọn kankan, ó ń fa omi, ó ń fa nutrients tó máa jẹ́ kó lè gbéra sókè, tó máa wá jẹ́ kó ló máa eventually fún wa ní high yield tá à ń wá, àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Now a ti ṣàlàyé àwọn nǹkan tí land preparation jẹ́ tó máa fún tó wúlò fún. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká wá tún sọ pé kí làwọn nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì míì ta ní láti okay, all right. Now let me revert because I understand that this lecture is bilingual, so I'll be going to the Yoruba side, and when you see that it's like I'm staying too long in the Yoruba side, please pull me back that I should also come back. Like what I was saying, I was talking to you about the maize. That let's assume that I want to plant maize and I drop it on the floor here. Will it germinate? Will it do well? Somebody commented that myself and the maize will be looking at ourselves, and it's very correct. Even if by an act of providence, maybe the maize absorbs some moisture and it wants to germinate, eventually it's going to die off because it's not going to have ability, it will not develop good root network to feed from the soil. So we talked about strong root development. Those are reasons why we need to prepare our land. And when our seeds they've developed, they've germinated, and they've had a strong root development, what will happen is that we can be expecting our high yield. We mentioned 3 points there. Plant preparation is the foundation for good germination, strong root development, and high yield. We've covered that. Now we want to talk about some key points. We're talking about weed control. When we prepare our land very well before we plant, it's going to minimize competition between weeds and our crops. Nǹkan tí yẹn túmọ̀ sí ni wípé tí a bá tún ilẹ̀ wa ṣe dáadáa ká tó gbìn, nǹkan tá a gbìn yẹn nígbà tá à ń tún ṣe yẹn a ti yọ àwọn èpò ní weed, a ti yọ àwọn èpò kúrò àti àwọn hóró síìdì èpò yẹn náà a ti fà wọ́n sẹ́yìn, á wá jẹ́ kí nǹkan tá a gbìn kó lè sáré. Fún àpẹẹrẹ tẹ́nìkan bá ní oko tó pín oko yẹn sí méjì, tó ro apá kan, tó ro ní àròbá dán, tó gbin àgbàdo síbẹ̀, tẹ́nìkan wá gbin tiẹ̀ sí àárín èpò. What that means is that if you have a strip of land, you divide it into two. One person cleans his home very well, prepares it, tills it, plants his maize there. The other person just plants his maize directly. What you will observe is that both maize might germinate, but there will be competition for nutrients, for light with the maize that we have planted. So one will do well, one may not do well. I think that is clear, right? Now let's move on. Then when we cultivate our land, it helps us to improve the soil. It allows for loosening of soil. When the soil is loose, it improves aeration and water infiltration. Nǹkan tí yẹn túmọ̀ sí ni pé ilẹ̀ tí a fi tá prepare nígbà tí bá ṣe prepare yẹn tá bá tọwọ́ bọ yẹ̀pẹ̀ yẹn ẹ rí pé ọwọ́ máa wọ̀ easily. Bọ́wọ́ ṣe wọ̀ easily náà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni atẹ́gùn ṣe wọ̀ easily. Tá bá bomi sí omi yẹn náà ráyè wọlé easily. But ilẹ̀ tó ti gan tí a rú tá bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé adọ́gbọ́n kan ọ ibi díẹ̀ tá a fi bóyá síìdì àgbàdo wá sí ni tá a dàbò nígbà tí síìdì yẹn bá fẹ́ gbéra tó fẹ́ máa mú èkàn kí ló máa pàdé á pàdé nǹkan tó le kò ní le lọ mọ́ ẹ wá rí wípé eléyìí tó wà ní ibi tí a ti rú yẹn òun sáré èyí tó wà níbi tí a rú kò sáré torí wípé kò láǹfààní láti rí atẹ́gùn kò láǹfààní láti rí iná omi. Nǹkan tí ká tún ilẹ̀ wa ká ṣe ilẹ̀ wa lọ́jọ́ kó tó di pé a gbìn. Another point that is there is ó máa ń reduce the pest and disease ní orí ilẹ̀ yẹn. The old crops, let's assume that this land has been planted with maize before. Some of the crops, they harbor residue of pests and residue of diseases. But when we remove them, we have allowed the new crop that we want to plant to have a new startup. So, are you noting the point that why land preparation is important now? We've talked about weed control, it helps control weed, it helps improve our soil, it helps reduce pests and diseases. Then, another point is, it makes our planting easier. When a land is leveled, it makes the planting to be easy and to be uniform. Then, it makes water use to be efficient. When a land is leveled, when you are applying water, the water may not likely seep off. Everything will just be going and the plants will be availing themselves to it. Tile waba teperese tati prepare taba fe fomi sí omi yẹn máa ṣe kíni á wọlé àwọn plants tí wọ́n nílò ẹ̀ wọ́n á rí lò. But tó bá jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ náà dagun tá a level ẹ̀ tá bá fomi sí kílẹ̀ rẹ̀ kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sómi yẹn á ṣàn lọ. Tá bá fẹ́ tún fi ajílẹ̀ sí ilẹ̀ tí ó jọ̀lọ̀ tá a prepare ó máa jẹ́ kí ajílẹ̀ wa tó bá jẹ́ ajílẹ̀ oníhóró ni á jẹ́ kó mix pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ yẹn dáadáa ju pé ká fi ajílẹ̀ sí fún àpẹẹrẹ ká náà mú kàn nínú ìṣòro.